One. Broadcasting tape delayed from the Jerry World parking lot, where every event takes place except the NFL playoffs. Did you get that?
Not this year.
Sports Economy Show is on. Our topic for today is the NIL money, and the topic of discussion that keeps on giving. It just never seems to end.
The NIL is like the magic, formula for success when it comes to talk, podcasts, or radio shows, whatever it is.
Everything.
Talk about the NIL, it's like the old, it's like Pete Rose back in the day.
Yeah.
Pete Rose, literally talk about Pete Rose, you talk 2-3 hours on Pete Rose.
On Pete Rose. Yeah, but the NIL is just never changing. Every day is something new. So today, what we're going to discuss is players, football players, not playing the final game of the season. And I bring up my stellar performer, Cam Ward, not sitting out the last game. No. Sitting out the second half of what? The Pop-Tarts Bowl. Pop-Tarts Bowl. I watched the end of that game, or the end of the post-game stuff. Yeah. It was so stupid. They had people jumping in a Pop-Tart thing.
Did you see the fake Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
Going down the toaster.
Yeah.
Then they had a real Pop-Tart come out the front of it, and the players ate off of it.
I know. I saw that.
Animals. They just ate off of one big-ass Pop-Tart. Ate them like
I saw the whole thing. I saw it, and I was just...
It was just disgusting.
It was over the top. I mean, it was over the top stupid.
It was.
It was over the top stupid. All right, here we go. The Pop-Tarts Bowl. And Cam Ward, possible Heisman Trophy winner, sitting out the second half. So the 22-year-old seemed to make a business decision as to get ready for the NFL draft. It's not said that this was made as a business decision, but everybody knows this is what it was. So the head coach, Mario Cristobal, said, I think all meetings with players and decisions like that, we need to make them in private and keep them in private. So I prefer not to answer the question as it relates to why he did that. I'm not talking about it. What he's saying. I'm not talking about it. I'm sure the discussion of here's probably what happened. I'll guarantee you this would happen. Cam Ward's agent called the coach on the phone and said, my player ain't playing the second half. And the coach goes, bam!
It was like, we done paid you.
Yes, right. We done paid you. Yeah. All right. So, as a booster, this is a question for you. Your favorite team, you give them $100,000 for their NIL collective, right?
Yep.
See them win. That's why you give money, to see them win, right? So how are you going to feel next year when the semi-pro team comes around and wants you to give $125,000? And knowing full well that several players are not going to play their last game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's hear your discussion about this.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. I think I kind of believe what you believe. I believe that Cam Ward, who's going to be he's going to be a number one pick this year, probably a top 5 to 10 pick in the NFL draft. But I think he probably was like, hey, man, I'm not playing this last game. I'm going pro. Which, I mean,
happens all the time.
It's not a shock. It's not a shock. Everybody knows he's going, right? But I think he probably was like, I'm not going to play. Bump the rest of the team. I don't care about nobody else. Forget that this, could be somebody else's last game. Forget that, I went through the ups and downs with my teammates while I've been on this team. No. I'm just not going to play.
We're not in this together anymore.
Right. But I do understand it's a money decision, right?
Yeah.
But I do think the coach is like, hey, we damn paid you. You need to play. So his compromise was, I'm going to play one half. Like he's Patrick Mahomes, with the bye week, the following week. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and get a little exercise, get a little cardio so I don't feel all fat, not bloated, and out of shape when the actual real games start in the playoffs, right? So I get it.
Because this is not the same as a player sitting out the last game of the NFL to get ready to get rested for the playoffs. Not the same.
It's not the same. but he's treating it like, hey,
Yeah.
But I understand. I guess if I was in his situation, I probably wouldn't do it either. I mean, like Dion, Dion had the two top recruits, the Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, and then his son, who's probably going to be top 3 pick, and Shedeur Sanders, quarterback. So what he did was he played them.
Mm-hmm.
And so before everybody goes, oh, well, they played. Why come Cam Ward couldn't play? Right? It's because they put Dion has enough money to get an insurance policy on those boys. Now, from what I understand, he may have gotten the school to do it.
That's an expensive insurance policy.
It is a very expensive policy, but
and it's been around for a long time.
Right.
These insurance policies have.
That's right. So I mean, I understand. What I thought was kind of messed up was he left after the first half, didn't play, and the game was competitive.
Yeah. I think Miami was up by 4 points, 3 or 4 points.
And then they ended up trailing, and he could have just came in. But I mean, he said, "Hey, man, I'm not playing anymore. That's it." So I kind of feel like we're Bill.
You ever seen the show The Longest Yard?
Yeah.
Where Burt Reynolds just says, "I'm just going to sit down because the warden's going to kill this family or something, whatever." So anyway, so he just sits down, and then when he comes back in the game, the offensive line just lets him get sacked.
Right.
They felt like that.
Yeah. Maybe he thought if he did that.
Right.
You son of a bitch. You gonna go out. You are now come in and be the savior. Okay. You ain't getting all the credit for this one. So yeah, maybe they would have did that.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like this, Bill. When you have a teenager, and the teenager gets to a point where they physically are grown.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bigger than the parents. Like literally, if it came to a tussle, like dad always would threaten the kid as a kid, like, "Hey, I will."
But they're only 15.
Right. Or even older. Like they get to be 16, 17, 18. They're grown, they're bigger than the parents, and they think they know, but they really don't know.
Yeah.
So that the parent goes, "You know what? I'm tired of talking to you. You find out by yourself." Right? And then the kid finds out and is like, "What's going on? Aren't you going to be there for me?" The parent's like, "No, because I've told you many times don't do that, and you keep doing it. So now here are the repercussions from what you did. Now what are you going to do? Because I'm not bailing you out." And I kind of feel like the NCAA is the same way in this situation. Because after the lawsuits, the NCAA was restricted and they couldn't do anything. And after all the complaints about the NCAA, now we're realizing, you know what? Maybe it was for your own good. The NCAA now is just sitting back watching everybody with this mad chaos. There's no rules. There's no organization. Teams are doing whatever the hell they want to do.
Transfer portal's a mess.
Right. Transfer portal is in the beginning of December.
Yeah.
And players got to do that. It's just ridiculous, Bill. It's just ridiculous. It's out of control.
I want to talk one day about in-season trades.
For college?
Yes. In-season trades. This is professional football. In-season trades are viable.
You know what?
That's right.
The way it's going. See, the way it's going. Honestly, there are no rules.
There are no rules.
Like, you mean to tell me that when they started this NIL, that nobody was like, "Hey, what happens if we get to a bowl game? Do we pay the players extra money? Do we specifically say, hey, if we pay you, you need to play in the bowl games?"
Professional sports, they get bonuses for playoff games.
Right. Why don't they have it where they go, "Hey, we get to a bowl game. For each postseason game that we play, you will get $100,000.
Yeah.
And if you don't play, you give us that money back." You think those players would be like, "I'm going to give it back"? No. If they're trying to transfer to another school because they know next year the team's going to suck because they've lost a lot of players, those players are still going to be like, I'm going to go ahead and finish up these bowl games and get my $100,000 for each game, and then I'll look at the transfer portal. Maybe I'll be a little late, but hey, I'll be $200,000 richer. I think I would do that, you know. And if they don't play, you got to give the money back.
You gotta give the
You won't
money
get the money,
back.
or you got to give the money back. We already gave it to you.
Yeah.
So,
But then that means they're gonna have to start signing contracts.
look, I think they actually signed something,
They would have to sign something.
but I don't think the details.
You're not giving an 18-year-old $250,000 without signing something.
Well, see, like, do you remember way back in the beginning of this year, there was a quarterback from UNLV, and the kid was like, they were 3-0. He was a starting quarterback, and this kid was like, "Yo, I'm out." And they're like, "What's going on?" He was like, "You promised me
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
$100,000 if I transferred. I think it's from Bowling Green or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but they said, yeah. We're going to pay you a certain amount of money for your NIL contract, and we're going to give you $100,000 with sort of like like a moving fee. If you had for people who have regular jobs, hey,
Yeah.
get a little bonus, get a little moving fee, help you out." So they said they give him $100,000 if he left that school to go to their school, plus the NIL contract. He gets there 3 games in, and they're like, "Nah, you know what? That's not in the contract." So he's like, "Well, that's what they said, so I'm out." So I don't know where it's like the Wild Wild West. It's just out of control. How do you feel like they can resolve this? Because what's going to end up happening.
Well, there's all kinds of ideas. My personal opinion is players should stay at this college they go to for 2 years. Because right now, the coaching staff is just wrecked. It's like, well, I don't know who I'm going to have next year. You have no
Right.
idea.
Nope.
And whatever it is, the players are going to have to sign some sort of contract, binding contract, where if you don't do this is the real world, folks, the real world. I don't know about you, but I can't just call my boss, "Hey, I'm taking off the next couple of days just 'cause." Well, you're
Right.
going to have to take vacation or something. No, I don't think so. Okay, well, then you're not going to get paid for that. Oh, really? Okay, I guess I'll come in.
Right. My thing is, how do they go, "I'm not going to play"? Well, if you took the money away, they're like, "Well, how can you do that to me?"
Yeah, can you do that to me?
Well, you're not playing, right? And like you said, what are boosters thinking? Are they going to
Well,
get to a point they're like, "Hey, man, we're not giving you money we want to win the bowls. We want to win the big games." Are they going to get to a point where they're like, "No, we're not doing that anymore because your players aren't taking it seriously, and we're not going to either." But it's just too much, man. I think they need to move back the portal, the NIL portal, move that back to after the
I
championship.
heard somewhere there's 2.
Huh?
There's 2 transfer portals. They have one in the spring and one in the.
Well, I mean, you could transfer any time of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the seasons,
Uh-huh.
right? But
So long, everybody.